Okay, welcome back, baseball fans. We are going to talk a little bit about singles to the outfield with runners on base. And I'm going to break this up into a few different smaller videos. So today we're going to do the just a runner on first base. This is with the APBA Baseball Master Game. And getting the mechanic down, because this is the part of the master game I think hangs up a lot of guys so far as getting this base runner advancement down. So I'm going to try to break it down and hopefully make it a little bit easier for everybody. So a couple things you want to look at when you're doing the runner advancement with runners on base is on the master boards, when someone gets a single or a double with runners on base, that hit gets assigned what's called a hit value. You could think of this hit value as maybe like how deep the ball was hit, or maybe even like how hard it is for that outfielder to get the ball and field it and send it in to the infield to maybe retire a runner trying to advance an extra base. And the range goes from the 20s up to the 70s. I didn't research like how low it goes, but that's the range. So the lowest you'll see will be like the 20s, which would be the least likely possibility of being able to take the extra base, up into the 70s, where it's almost guaranteed. If you have a hit value in the 70s, it's almost guaranteed that that guy is going to take the extra base. So most of the hit values you're going to see are going to be like in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. But just you kind of want to think about that hit value when you're playing the master games. If you get a hit value in the 20s, you just think very unlikely that you're going to get it. In the 70s, very, very likely you are going to get that extra base. So players are rated for different categories. So I set up a little great teams of the past scenario here. We're going to have the 75 Reds and the 1929 Cubs. So the other factor that comes into play when your base runners are advancing is the outfielder's arm. So looking at the Reds outfield, they have George Foster. If you look at the bottom of this great team of the past card, his arm's at 31, which is about average. You look at the center fielder, Cesar Geronimo, his arm is 39. That's a really good arm. That's very almost a near Clemente type arm. Then you got Ken Griffey in right field. He's a arm of 34, so that's a little bit better than average. So that arm rating is going to come into play when we do this base runner advancement. So I set up a situation here with Roger Hornsby's on first base with a single. And his speed rating, if you could see, is a speed of a 9. Okay, and then we have at bat, we have Hack Wilson. So we're going to run I'm going to put one other thing in here too. Let's get a pitcher. Because a pitcher's move to first can also assist the holding the runners to the base. So let's go. Let me get a good pitcher here. Let's see. Okay, here's a good one, Art Neff. We'll say Art Neff is pitching for the Cubs. So if you notice, Art Neff is up here. It says move the first +2. Okay, so that's all going to come into play here. All right, so let's look at the boards. Let's run a scenario. So on the runner on first board, let's look at the first single. So all we're going to do in this video is just singles. So if you look at the single to right, so let's say Hack Wilson gets a play result 7. It's a single to right. So first thing you want to look for is what handed, is he batting righty or lefty? So you could see the bat's righty is going to have a different set of numbers here. We're going to explain these in a minute. So let's see what our Hack Wilson is. So Hack Wilson is a righty. Or I'm sorry, yes, he's a right. He bats right. Okay, so Roger Hornsby's at first, single to right, But now I'm not going to read this first set of numbers. That will be for a lefty. So you see it says bats right. So I'm going to follow this set of numbers. So single to right. Okay, so bats right. So it's a single to left. So think of Hack Wilson. He's a righty. Righties are typically going to pull the ball out to left field. So you kind of want to just kind of visualize that when you're playing the Master Game. So right-handers are going to want to pull it, and sometimes lefties are going to pull it to right. So when that play results 7, if it was a lefty, he's hitting it to right. If he's a righty, he's hitting it to left. So that's the pull. So go to 7. So we know we're right here. So bats right, single to left. Now what are these numbers? So 26, 34 star, 29, 37 star, 31, 39 star, left field, third base, second base in parentheses. What does this all mean? So these are the actual hit values I was just talking about. Like remember, the range is like 20s up to the 70s, with 20s being very unlikely he'll take the extra base, where 70s would be very almost guaranteed. So why are there 6 numbers here? So essentially you could see they're broken up by slashes. So what you do in order to give you like a variance in your what the hit values are, APBA breaks it up into 3 possible hit values it could be. So what you do is you roll 1 die, and if it's a 1 or a 2, it's going to be the first set. If you roll a 3 or 4, it's going to be the second set, and if you roll 5 or 6, it's going to be the third set. So I'll look at the first one. I'll say, okay, wait, there's still 2 numbers there. What is the actual hit value for this? Well, the number with the asterisk right before it is going to be the value for 2 outs. For your second, so you can see the value is higher for 2 outs. See this 29-37, the value is higher for 2 outs. The value is higher for 2 outs. Why is the value higher for 2 outs? Well, if you know baseball, you know with 2 outs, that base runner is taken off on contact. So he's going to have a chance to advance better than if it was no outs or 1 outs, because he's not thinking of freezing when that ball's hit. He's thinking of just running on contact because there's 2 outs. That's how that Master Game factors in. There are other, if you think of other games out there, what they'll do is they'll keep this number, but then they'll tell you to make an adjustment for 2 outs. And but that's just how the APBA Master Game handles this. You could see the higher hit value. Remember, the higher hit value means the higher chance you're going to get the extra base if there's 2 outs. Okay, and what does the left field mean? So since it was a single to left, the left fielder is going to get it. And what does a third base mean? Well, that would be the play where the base where the play would be. So if you were trying to take the extra base, now of course you always have the option of just with the single to left, the offensive manager can decide just to stop at second, and you would just ignore all this, and you would just proceed with the next batter, and you would just have Hornsby stop at second. So that would be like a situation like this. So like Hornsby would just go to second, and then you would have Hack Wilson at first. Now let's say Hack Wilson singles. Now you want to send Hornsby to third base. Let's say there's no outs or 1 out. So what you would do on a 7 is we're looking at these ones here, 1, 2, or 3. We're going to roll 1 dice. It's a 5. So a 5 would be on this bottom, these last 2 numbers. Since we know it's no outs, it's a 31. So 31 is my hit value, and then it plays the left field. Okay, so what you do is you take that 31. That's your key number. That 31 is your hit value. So we're going to go to our formula. So we have the hit value. We're going to subtract the outfielder's arm. See, the outfielder in this case, the left fielder, it's George Foster. He's a 31 arm. Okay, so you take the so the hit value was 31, and we're subtracting 31. Okay, that gives us 0. Then what you do is then you add the speed of the runner trying to advance. So that is Rogers Hornsby. So his speed is 9. So 0 plus 9 is 9, and 9 is his advance number. So what you do is you go to this table here on the master board. It says base advancement chance table, and you look at line 2 here, and you look for 9, where 9 is. So 9 is right here, and then you look at the number right above that. So essentially that means 9 chances out of 36 he'll be able to advance safely on a hit to left field. So you would have to, so if you were foolish enough to decide to take that extra base, being that the play is right in front of George Foster going to third base, that's why it's such a low chance, because its play is right in front of Foster. It's an easy throw right for him to go to third base. That's why it's only 9 chances out of 36 to be safe. You could, if you were gambling, and then what you would have to do is roll a 23 or less. Now, I did just forget one thing here for the move to first ratings. So you could see Neff is a move to first +2. So +2 and +3 are above average. So what you do is if they're +2, you knock one point off of that advance number. So the advance number is 9. So he would go down to an 8. If he's a move to first +2. Now, if he was a move to first +3, he would knock down 3, so he would go down to a 7. Reason for that is Neff, if he's holding the runner, he's going to have a really good. He has a good move to first. He's good at holding that runner close to the first base bag, so he doesn't. So that runner has a harder time to get to third base if he was trying to do that, because Neff is a good holder. So in this case, since he's a move to first +2, his actual advance number would be 8. So you have to roll 22 or less. Let's look at the another situation here where it's a little bit easier. And then we would just roll the dice on that. Let's roll on that 8 or less. Let's see if Hornsby, so he's foolish enough to try to take third. Let's see if we roll 22 or less to get safe. So you have to roll 22 or less to be safe. And he rolls a 32. That means Hornsby is out at third, and that's going to be scored single, 7-5. Let's go back up to the runner on first, and let's look at a pull righty hitter. So let's say Eagle Eye John Schulte is up. He's a pull righty. Let's say Hornsby's at first base, and you get a play result 8 for Schulte. And there's no difference between some of these results. You don't have to make that die roll to get the separate results. See, it says pull righty 51. So we know it's a fixed 51 is his chance. It's going to right field, and the play right here is going to go to third base. These numbers in the parentheses are for the cutoff plays, which I'm going to cover in another video. So let's take a look at the pull righty, which, remember, pull righty is hitting it out the right field. So it's a hit value of 51. Let's look at Ken Griffey. He's in right field. It's 34. So the difference between 51 and 34 is 17. Okay, and then so what we're going to do is add that 17 up to Hornsby's speed of 9 again. So it brings us to 26 now. Then we're going to subtract that 1 for Neff +2. So it's 25 chances out of 36. So you could see, like in real baseball, you know, if Schulte hits it, Hornsby goes to second, but that ball's over here, so that ball's hit behind the runner. And anybody who knows baseball, when the ball's hit behind the runner, it's a lot easier for that runner to advance an extra base. Since this fielder now has to throw all the way from right field over to third base. Whereas remember, before, all Foster did was get the ball, everything was right in front of him, throw right to third, but now Griffey has to throw all the way from right field over to third base. So that's why we have a 25 chance out of 36. So what we do then is we go look at our chart. We look at where 25 is. 25 is right here. So now you could see Hornsby has 51 chances out of 36. I'm sorry, 25 chance out of 36. So you just have to roll 51 or less to be safe. Let's roll. Easily 16. He is way under 51. So Hornsby is safe at third on the single by John Schulte. And we're going to cover some more videos here on this. We're going to do maybe a double with a runner on first, see if they could score. But that's essentially how it works. You just want to break it down like this. Hit value minus the outfielder's arm, add the speed, and it's going to give you your advanced number. And then you may have a modifier with his move to first, +2 or +3. Will be -1, and this will be -2. Okay, remember the 2 out results, which are going to give him a better chance. That's already baked into the boards, and that's the result you'll see with the star. So the star will be the result with 2 outs. So hope this helps. We're going to have a few more videos on this, and hopefully this helps folks enjoy the Master Game. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.